This is Coordinator's Corner, presented by JCW, the Burger Boys.
Greetings once again, Cougar Nation. We welcome you back inside Studio B at the BYU Broadcasting Building here in Provo. It's our season finale of the Coordinator's Corner. It's our weekly BYU football chat with the Cougars coordinating coaches. And in our final week this week, as we do in our season debut, we visit with all three coordinators. Meaning today we'll be chatting with special teams coach Kelly Poppinga, defensive coordinator Jay Hill, and offensive coordinator Aaron Roderick. Coming up on today's broadcast, we will look back at Saturday's setback in the Valley of the Sun. 28-23 ASU wins it. Sets up a regular season finale against Houston for BYU. Cougs need a win, the BYU Cougs, and some help to get to the Big 12 title game in Arlington. Let's break it all down with BYU special teams coordinator Kelly Poppinga. Coach Kelly, good to see you again.
Great to be back, like always.
Yes.
Good to see you.
The Kansas loss the week before was kind of a reset of sorts. It felt like, okay, that one out of the way, and how did you feel about the week of practice leading up to Arizona State after that one?
We felt like our practice was way better than a week before. You know, I think the week of the Kansas game, we were riding those emotions of that Utah win and, you know, just getting over that. You know, that's one of the biggest challenges when you have a big emotional win, is getting the guys back down, you know, from just that high level of emotion that they experienced and get them refocused back on. And I don't think that really happened probably until Wednesday of the Kansas game. And then this week, the guys came in immediately on Monday, and our walkthrough on Monday was way better. Our Tuesday practice was probably as good as Tuesday practice we had, and then just, you know, went that same way Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I thought our guys mentally were way better than they were the week prior. You know, we just came up a few plays short, and, you know, could have played way better in the first half to have a better outcome.
Did you feel like, because we heard from a player or two maybe that the word flat got mentioned to open the ASU game, did you sense it coming into the game?
I didn't sense it at all. I didn't sense that they were going to be flat, or, you know, they looked.
Do you think you guys were?
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I thought we started, for defense specifically, I thought we started flat 2 weeks in a row. The first drive of the Kansas game, and then that first half. And, you know, I don't know where to pinpoint any of that, you know, exactly. You know, as coaches, we're trying to figure all that out. Mm-hmm. And with players, a lot of the time, it just comes down to them making sure they got to get themselves ready as well, right? There's only so much a coach can do to try to help somebody get ready, and then the leadership of the team, you know, has to take it from there. And I don't, you know, I didn't sense that at all going into the game, that we were going to play flat. The guys were excited. They knew everything that was on the line. They knew if we won this game, we were in the driver's seat to play in the Big 12 championship game. And so they knew everything that was on the line. And then, you know, Arizona State came out, and they, you know, you got to give them credit. They executed well in the first half. They played physical. And then, you know, we woke up in the second half and we played, you know, better defense, and I think way better as a team in general. And so just unfortunate we just didn't play like that in the first 30 minutes.
Let's get your perspective on a few points in the game. The offense got the ball first. Opening drive gets to a 4th and 5 at the ASU 46. Too far away for a field goal. Options here are punt and pin or go for it. How much give and take is going on the headset from an OC to a special teams coach to a head coach on what to do on that first 4th and 5?
Yeah, we're just, you know, I'm listening to A-Rod. They have some stuff that they follow that just gives them the idea of what the percentages say that we need to go for it or not. And we were in that number that we felt we needed to go for it. You know, being on the road, being in that situation. And, you know, they felt like they had a good play, and Arizona State dialed up a nice blitz right there. I always go back and watch the offense just to see if there's things that defenses are doing. And so I watched this last night, and I thought it was a really good blitz designed by them. They, you know, I think they were playing a version of cover 2 with some pressure, and I think it just caught Jake off guard. And, you know, we don't convert, and then the defense has to come out. And that's really the story of any defensive player. Their mindset is, it doesn't matter where the ball is at. We got to come out with the right mindset. It doesn't matter if the ball's on the 1 yard line and they have to go 99 yards, or like we did in the SMU game, we had multiple times in the red zone where our backs were against the wall, and we stood up to that and we made plays. And so really that situation, yeah, you could say that was bad field position for the defense, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where the ball's placed. We got to come out there. We got to execute. We got to do our job. And if we do that in that first drive right there, I think we're going to be just fine. But we don't execute well as a defense in that first drive, and they're able to go down and score.
Yeah, it was a 54-yard field. They went 10 plays, 7 Cam Scadaboo rushes on that drive. He ends up with more rushing yards than any other back BYU's seen this year, and BYU's seen some good ones in the Big 12.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. He runs hard. He has low center of gravity. does a great job of catching the ball out of the backfield as well, which he didn't do much in this game. But as far as a runner goes, he's hard to bring down, and our guys knew that going into the game we were going to have to tackle him well, and we were going to have to gang tackle him. And, unfortunately for us, we didn't do that until the second half. And in the second half, he rushes, I think they had 42 yards as a team in the second half on 21 carries. And that's what the whole game should have been like if we did the job, our job the way we were supposed to.
The next two drives in this game both ended in picks, one for each team. BYU's defense now has recorded interceptions in all 11 games this season. Tanner Wall got his third INT of the season. BYU didn't move the ball, but it was a unique game that BYU punted only once. And by the way, the one punt was a great punt and pin. Early in the second quarter, you down the ball at the ASU 5-yard line.
And I always tell our guys we have 30 opportunities. On average, most games, there's 30 opportunities to play special teams. This game, there came down to 17 plays on special teams, the lowest by far we've had all year. I think there was one other game where we had 22, was the next lowest. But Sam taking advantage of his opportunity. His one opportunity he got in the game. We pinned the ball inside the 5-yard line. This has been an emphasis because we had been pretty good at this at the earlier part of the season. Our pin situation is what we call this when the ball is 50 and in. And we hadn't executed great the last couple weeks. And it had been an emphasis in practice. And Sam goes out there, hits a great ball. Evan Johnson goes down there, makes a great play. You saw Cody Hagan on the other side coming down there, tracking the ball, and everybody else is going to the returner. So it's great to execute that, give the defense 95 yards to defend, but once again we just don't go out there and do what we're supposed to do as a defense. And unfortunate with that type of field position. I thought we could have flipped it, get a 3 and out right there. That's what you want when the ball's inside the 5 or 10. You get a 3 and out, they have to now pump back to us, and now that field position battle's being won by us. But unfortunately the defense didn't step up in that occasion. Sadly
ASU did go 95 for the score. It's 14-0. Then comes the turning point of the first half, at least, the squib kick recovered by the Sun Devils. Your take on this one?
Yeah, that was a tough one because Arizona State last season, they did that against somebody else, and we had the clip, we showed the clip, and
here it is.
Yeah, here it is right here, and we knew it was coming at some point in the game. I told them, guys, in big games they're going to call something like this. And Talon, who's one of our best special teams players, he saw the kicker look right at him. He knew the ball was coming, but in that situation, he didn't react the way that we had taught him.
Was he trying to get out of the way as opposed?
He should have been, and you can see right at the last second, he's trying to get out of the way. But in a right normal onside kick situation, he should go and get that. But in a squib kick situation, when that ball is hit really hard, he's taught to get out of the way right there. And so he should have just got out of the way, and then Bodie Schoonover, who's our up back on that side, should have came up and got the ball. But yeah, an unfortunate thing that they were prepared for it. They knew it was coming. We had practiced it, and props to them. They executed it, and props to the kicker that he was able to hit him. Coach Hill and I were talking about that. He's tried that a couple times in his career. I've tried that a couple times in my career. Never actually been able to hit somebody come close, but just unfortunate bounce, and it's a crappy deal. But
how about in 2 straight weeks you get a Kansas punt on a pooch kick off a helmet, and the next week you get the squib that hits the guy we're supposed to. Those are 2 bounces at the ball you might not see if you run 10 seasons with the same plays, and you see it back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, and that's just how the season's gone. The ball's bounced our way a lot this season, and then these last 2 weeks it just hasn't. And even though that does happen, once again our defense still has the ball at the 50-yard line. It's not like we're inside the 20. They still have a chance to stop them on a 4th down. Right, we have them. I think it's 4th and 1, going in for their last touchdown right before the half, and we have somebody misfit, and we run the same exact call. They run the same exact play at the end of the game, and we stop them for a TFL. So it's just like we do our job, and we execute properly. We can stop them, and we should have stopped in that situation, but that's just not how it was meant to be.
Off that last short field we saw, they did score to make it 21-0. They had a celebration penalty, which meant they kicked off back at their 20-yard line. You got a little better field position. You really thought you might have had a kickoff return touchdown there. That said, you got a little more space to get Will in position to give you some points before the break.
Yeah, they had to kick the ball off from the 20, and we had a tell on when they were going to do a sky kick, kind of bloop the ball up in the air, and we knew it was coming, and everybody scooted up where they needed to be, and everybody blocked, and just Keelan didn't quite see the seam. If he sees it, there's a chance that thing's going to the house. But yeah, our offense still gets the ball in the 35. They do a great job going down there and setting up Will for a 3-point field goal right there at the end of the half, and 49 yards. And
he's been doing this all year long, late in halves too.
Yeah, and it's been, and mean, even going back to last season, he did it against Oklahoma and Oklahoma State late in the year. He's clutch, man. I'm just so happy he's on our team. And not just Will and Sam, but Dalton, Riggs, who's snapping the ball, has done a great job. And the protection of the O-line has been great all year. So just that, that whole group of guys has been really dialed in all year long, and it's been fun to see the production they've given our team.
12 consecutive field goal makes for Will. That was his 20th of the year. That's one off a BYU record for a single season, by the
awesome.
way.
That's
all
cool.
right. We'll take a look at the second half of this game in a moment. As we head to break, a reminder to join Dave McCann and former Cougars Blaine Fowler and David Nixon tomorrow night for a brand new episode of After Further Review. They'll take a look at the ASU game, look ahead to Houston. That's tomorrow at 7 Eastern on the BYUtv app and ESPN+. When we come back, more and a final segment for this year with Special Teams Coordinator Kelly Poppinga. As the Coordinator's Corner continues, brought to you by JCW's The Burger Boys.
Coordinator's Corner is presented by JCW's The Burger Boys and Intermountain Health, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
And what a play that was at the end. Back on the Coordinator's Corner, visiting with BYU Special Teams Coordinator and defensive ends coach Kelly Poppinga. Looking back at BYU's 28-23 setback at Tempe and ahead to the season ender with Houston this Saturday. Well, BYU trailed 21-3 at halftime on Saturday at ASU, but the tide began to turn at the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. What was the message to the boys at the break?
Just execution, execution and effort. We just, like I mentioned before, we didn't execute well. Simple things that we didn't do that we've done all year long, and then tackling. I think really what it came down to more than anything was just our run fits and tackling. If we do a better job of that, we knew that we were going to play better, and so that was the message. Is like, guys, just get back to doing what we do, and let's tackle this guy, and we're going to be just fine. We didn't feel like the quarterback, and I'm not trying to make him sound like he's not a great player, but we just didn't feel at this time he was going to beat us with his arm all of the time. He wasn't going to be that consistent to be able to do that. I do think he's going to be a very good player, good athlete, has strong arm, but just where he's at right now, we just felt the only way they could beat us was consistently running the ball like they were doing. And so to be able to stop that and put them in more passing situations was going to give us our best chance to come back and win the game.
ASU had the lead, the big lead, and the ball to open the second half, but a big momentum shift because they had the ball for over 7 minutes. They got to a first and goal at the BYU 9, but they end up scoring no points on it. What a great defensive stand near your own goal line to, again, help bring the momentum back to your side.
Yeah, no, it was a great play. We ran a pressure there that, I think confused the quarterback a little bit, and then he made had to throw the ball over the top. And then we got, they had I think Miles Hall came blitzing in and they cut him, and so we got a penalty off of that. And it ended up being a good deal. So, yeah, we did a great job. And this, comes back to my point exactly. It doesn't matter where the ball is at. They had the ball inside the 10-yard line. It's our job to step up and make plays, and our guys did this in the situation. And they had 4 downs. They tried to throw back right here on us, and quarterback throws it overthrows it just a little bit, and then this is the one right here where we brought the pressure, and I think we confused them a little bit of the coverage that we were running. It was a great job to make a stand right there, get the ball back to our offense, and then they go down, and I think three possessions in a row score touchdowns, if I remember right. So ended
up feeling like a bit of a shootout at some point because ASU did have a nice long connection for a score, but then BYU just kept it was like back and forth for a bit, and now you're in shootout mode. 5-point game late, you probably feel like you're right where you want to be.
Oh yeah, and especially, late in that game, I felt really like we started to control the run game in the fourth quarter. Seemed like they started to wear down a little bit, and our guys were starting to just get used to, the way that they were playing, what they were trying to do, and I thought we tackled way better in the fourth quarter. And then we had a shot right there at the end. We saw the play coming in, from the break right there of Glasgow making the play.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again. It was a 4th and 1 with 2:40 to play.
Yeah.
If they make a first down here, they might be able to kind of, bleed the clock out. What were you expecting? What did you see on this play?
Yeah, we were, the play before we stopped them, which was the same exact run play that they scored on earlier, and we fit it up good. And we knew that they're probably going to try to do something to get the quarterback on the perimeter. Now, if you go back and watch that play, I don't know if the quarterback screwed up or if the
someone turns either. Someone's on the wrong.
So I don't know if it was designed for the quarterback to do this or not, but we felt like there was going to be something where they were going to try to get him out of the pocket, and we knew knew Glasgow could chase this guy down, and Glasgow ends up making a great play. Even though Glasgow right there was misaligned just a little bit, he was supposed to be up more on the line of scrimmage. He made it a lot harder for him to, himself to make that play. Should have been a lot easier for him, but he, with that guy's speed and his length, was able to chase him down and make the play before the sticks right there. And
that did give BYU back the ball. An INT on the ensuing possession does give it back to ASU. They were trying to play the clock game to get to the end, and just a chaotic, weird, strange finish of this one. It ended up giving BYU one final snap. I'm not sure if the line of scrimmage was where it should have been. Either way, it was as weird an ending to a game as we've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, and it reminded me a lot of Utah game 2012, where the fans rushed the field on the block kick, and then, whatever, and then we get another shot at kicking a field goal. And I thought, our guys did a great job of attacking them to get them in that position. You could tell early ASU didn't want to score for some reason. I don't know why they didn't decide to elect to score. It would have brought them up 2 scores with less than a minute to go, but they didn't want to give us the opportunity to get the ball back. And so they, were just trying to take time off the clock. That's why the quarterback was running back there. And so I thought our guys tried really, really hard in that situation to just get them down. And gave us a shot to have one more play, and unfortunately we just didn't get those 2 more yards that we needed.
Your thoughts on the team's resolve though this season? It's been there all year, certainly. Now you get a chance to prove it one more time, do what you need to do, and hope for a bit of help.
Early in the season we won these close games, and the ball was bouncing our way, and we were making the plays that we needed to win. In the Kansas State game and these other games that were big opponents that we needed to win. So I think our team is. I think they're tough. I think they're resilient. I think they have belief in themselves. And just unfortunately, in these last 2 games, a 4-point loss and a 5-point loss, those are tough losses. And we'd won a lot of those games earlier in the season, and just unfortunately, these last 2 games, it just didn't go our way. But a lot of that's our own fault of just. Coming back to just executing. And us as coaches, I don't want to put it all on the players. As coaches, we got to obviously prepare them better and help them put themselves in better positions so that they can execute and make those plays that we made earlier in the season.
I think mathematically 8 of the 16 teams have a shot at a piece of the championship this weekend, which is pretty wild to begin with. And the scenarios are pretty simple for BYU, but they depend on you winning a game against Houston and hoping for one of 2 or both results. You know what those are going to be. You're cheering for 2 sets of Wildcats this weekend, Arizona and Kansas State.
And I think for both of those games, I think Arizona State's going to have a tough time going to Arizona, and I think Kansas State's, in a good position to go to Iowa State and make something happen there. So, unfortunate, we have to rely on somebody else helping us out a little bit, but number one job for us is we want to go out there. We want to end this right for the seniors. We want to go home, get a win at home for these guys for the last time in LaVell Edwards Stadium, get a 10-win season, which is really, really hard to do, which before the season started, anybody that said that we would have a chance to win 10 games, they would think we're crazy. So to be in that position to win 10 games and have a chance to play for a conference championship, then I think it's a pretty awesome deal to be in. Now, unfortunately, it could have been better for us, but this is the situation we're in, and so we're going to attack it. And I think our players are excited. I know they are, and they're just anxious to get back on the field and show who we really are.
So win on Saturday against Houston, you get those 10 wins, and there will be a chance at an 11th. You already know that.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great for our guys that have earned a bowl game, and sounds like it's going to be something pretty awesome that BYU's never done before, and so if we get into that conference championship game, which we all hope for, then I know that we're going to play our best football, but most importantly, we got to play our best football this Saturday night.
Coach, it's been a pleasure all season.
Hey, thanks, Greg.
Thank you for the year. We'll do it again.
Appreciate you.
All right, that's awesome. All right, that's Coach Kelly Poppinga. This Saturday, tune in to Cougar Pregame Live on BYU Radio starting at 8 Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. The Cougs host Houston Cougs and Cougs in BYU's home and regular season finale. As we go to a break, we remind you that dinner after the game at JCW's includes something for everybody, from burgers to wings, shakes to salads. JCW's quality and a lot of it in Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, and now in Harriman. Coming up next, BYU defensive coordinator Jay Hill joins me. You're in the Coordinator's Corner, brought to you by JCW's, the Burger Boys.